In this video, we're going to be reviewing my top 3 new handguns for 2024. Looking back, we've done a number of reviews on a number of different handguns, but there were 3 that really stood out to me in reflecting back at the past year, and the ones that really, in my opinion, are the 3 best that I've had a chance to review. The first one is the Ruger RXM that just recently came out. All of these guns, by the way, I'm showing you now, I have links to the full reviews below, but one of the great things about the RXM is, for many people, including myself, my Glocks largely went back into the safe until some modifications started happening when the patents expired for in this case, the Gen 3 Glocks that were out in the market. There have been a number of Glock Gen 3 clones that have been out there. So what makes this one so remarkable? What makes it so remarkable, it is now fully modular. And this stands out amongst all the other Glocks that are out there today. And one of the comparisons I would often ask people is, if you have an AR-15, do you use a Colt AR-15? Because Colt was the original maker of the AR-15 until their patents expired. Now most people have improved versions of an AR-15 that are clones, if you will, that are actually better than the traditional Colts. Now, I still have my 6920 service rifle in the cabinet, but beyond that, all of my AR-15s beyond that have been clones. And that's what I think is going to happen now, and what makes this gun really stand out amongst everything else. One of the other things I really like about this is just the improved ergonomics. So as you can see here, there is no more Glock hump. It's still relatively blocky when you hold the mag pull grip that they put on here, but it is still much more comfortable and has a much better grip angle. The sights and sight system, in this case, you can see I've mounted both a Holosun as well as a TLR-7A on my RX. But in this case, for example, the sight mounting system does not require mounting plates. So unlike the MOS versions and Glocks and others that are out there that typically raise the sights more just to make sure that the plates are there, one of the great things about the RXM is there's a number of different cuts and dowels that you put on there to be able to flush fit, in this case, my Holosun, onto the frame, so to get it as low as possible. And again, that is one of the other innovations about the RXM that I really like. The other thing about this is it comes with steel sights, as we've reviewed before, and when you look down in through the Holosun, you can see through the sights, so they do co-witness, which is nice, as opposed to typical Glock sights, which are plastic, which many people end up replacing or having to get suppressor height sights. In this case, we have the sights already installed, and they're on here. I didn't have to switch them out. They're relatively good sights, and of course they are metal, which is what I prefer to have on my Glocks. The other thing about this is this gun typically comes in around $200 less than a Glock MOS. So really it is a great value for what's out there. And the other nice thing about this is it fits almost all of my Glock 19 holsters. So including my Safariland holsters that I would use to carry this on a duty. So the good news is I don't have to buy new holsters. I don't have to buy new magazines because this takes typical Glock magazines, whether they be my primary 19s and my backups, my 17s that I carry with them, etc. And then the other greatest thing about the RXM, as I've reviewed before, is the serialized fire control insert. All other parts beyond just the insert itself now become unserialized accessories. And as we previously talked about before, that means that anybody can create any one of these parts outside of the trigger assembly that you drop into the gun. So theoretically, as Magpul has shown here, anybody with even a 3D printer can print out a, for example, grip module, which is one of the things that people want to change the most on their Glocks. Now, who will be next to do that? Well, hopefully Wilson Combat will be next. I don't know if they're planning on creating a grip module for this or not, but they did a great job with the SIGs on the 365s and the P320s. Why not give it a whirl here? But we're going to likely see many different variations to this, the 1745 lengths, the 2026 lengths, etc. But this, in my opinion, because largely of these changes that are here and the fact that we now have a fully modularized Glock Gen 3 clone, this to me is one of the top handguns in 2024. The second handgun on my list is my Kimber K6s. If you've seen my review before, again, I have reviewed it below. This is the smallest 357 that I carry both comfortably and accurately to shoot. Now, all my guns have been safety check prior to the video here, and one of the changes that I made to this compared to the stock is they come with some really nice wood grips, but the wood grips also kind of have a pointed edge on the tops of them, and when you shoot a gun of this size with heavy 357 loads out, it can become pretty uncomfortable. That's why I prefer to use hoe grips on this, because it just makes it much more comfortable to shoot, much easier to fire. Just looking real quick, how does this stack up as far as weight? Unloaded, it comes in at 1 pound 9.5 ounces, so it's a good carry weight. It's a good balance between the physics of having a heavy gun to control a higher caliber, as well as the size that makes it very easy to shoot and carry. The other nice thing I love about this are the 3-dot combat sight systems. These are really excellent sights. They're easy to pick up on target, very, very accurate. The other thing I like about this is it has a slender 6-shot cylinder. So compared to, for example, my old Smith & Wesson Model 65, the cylinder is just slightly more narrow. And what that allows it to do is the shells literally are butting up to each other, as opposed to having a little bit more gap in the traditional Smith & Wessons. And as a result of that, and it's kind of hard to see on the video here, but the profile is just a little bit slimmer than a traditional 65, even though you get to carry, again, the same amount of rounds, 6 rounds. And then if you compare that, for example, to a Model 60, which carries 5 rounds, is almost the same in width. So basically what you're getting is you're getting the ability to carry 6 rounds in something that's very close to a Model 60 as far as being very slender. Now, the other nice thing about this that I like is the trigger action is excellent and is very, very smooth. Both single, double action, as well as the fact that the hammer is very easy to manage and manipulate compared to, for example, one of my favorite guns, which is the 65, and you can see it here. The hammer in this case is a little bit more narrow, and it's a little harder and has a little bit more of an edge to it. Now, I know I could debob that a little bit, but again, it's just really nice to have this out of the box. Now, just looking real quickly at trigger pull on this, just to give you an idea if you're not familiar with revolvers, where does the trigger pull come in on this? It's going to do a couple trigger pulls in double action. Comes in around a little over 8 pounds. Do a couple more. 5 pounds 14 ounces, and 6 pounds 13 ounces. So we're around that 6 to 7 pound range on average for double action, and then single action is really where this shines. 1 pound 15 ounces, 1 pound 11, and 2 pound 3 ounces. So just around a little under 2 pounds of trigger pull for the single action version of this. This is great. I love carrying this outdoors. It's slim but very powerful. It's not cheap, but you're getting great quality. And if you're used to seeing Kimbers in like 1911s, etc., you might make a pause, for example, at this, but I can tell you right now, the quality of this is the fit and the finish, the lockup, everything here is exceptional compared to everything else that I've had. And the other thing I like to carry this in is a custom holster I had made here in Arizona that allows me to carry this in a protected flap holster, as well as having my spare rounds here as well. So this is one of the best configurations I have for the Kimber K6s, but this is something that I carry outdoors every time that I'm literally out in danger territory, and I love it. Final one gun that I have that I like of all the three is my Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0. Now, this has been safety checked, of course. Now, why do I like this so much? Because, as the old saying goes, the best gun is the one that you have on you when you need it. And that's the great thing about the Bodyguard, is it's very easy, very small, very compact to carry with you. And what's amazing about this gun is the ergonomics are just remarkable for a micro compact. I've had a number of micro compacts over the years and just never really liked them and never really felt comfortable carrying them until this gun came along. And it just fits the hand just perfectly. It's got an excellent trigger, excellent sights. It's got a manual safety option. If you see the sights here, again, you've got a lit up front sight, blacked out rear, the stainless steel slide, very good quality. And if I just want to look at the trigger pull real quick at this, again, it's a little hard because it's a flat face trigger, but I get around 2 pounds, in this case, 5 ounces. I'll do another one here. £1 pound 15 ounces. 1 pound, 13 ounces. £2, 2 ounces. So very light trigger pull, which is another reason why I like to have the manual safety option on this, because this is actually a very nice, very accurate trigger, but it can also be very dangerous if it's easily set off. That's why, again, I recommend if you buy one of these, get it with a manual safety option. The other thing about this is by far one of the most accurate micro compacts I've ever fired. In fact, compared to many of my normal duty guns, this is very close in accuracy to that one. And the other great thing about it is, as was revolutionized originally through SIGs and other things like that, you've got a very small 10-round magazine that makes this exceptional as a carry gun, because this full weight, fully loaded, comes in at just under 1 pound. So not only is it small, not only does it fit in a pocket holster very easily and can easily disappear when you're carrying it, but again, it has all the things that you would want in a concealed carry option in a micro compact. High capacity, great quality, excellent accuracy, and dependability and reliability with the right ammunition. So these are the top 3 guns that I personally like in 2024, and I recommend. Full videos of them are all listed below. And if you like this video or like this channel, please subscribe on YouTube, and thanks for watching.